Hello again, everyone. Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. It's been, we're now into week 3 of the new season, season 3, and I want to go over a lot of the specs. I'm not going to do, yes, kind of tier list, kind of not tier list, kind of spec overview and how everything's going. So I'm not going to place them in order, but I wanted to go over how the specs are doing. And I want to get into that because I think it's very interesting what's going on. I'll use a couple sites, Archon, and I'll use Raider.io just to show. Raider.io is a great site. Anyone who has it, you can see. You can see there's a good mix of everything, really. Like Priest, we got Resto Druid, we got Resto Shaman, we got Holy Paladin. I'm sure if you scroll to the next page, you'll get a Mistweaver Monk. We have Prot Warriors, we have Vengeance CH, Prot Pallies, we have Brewmasters. There is a strong representation of everything, even the DPS, Frost, Arcane, Destruction, Sub, probably Arcane again, Marksman. You got a Havoc Demon Hunter up here, Destruction Warlock again, Balance Druid, Arms Warriors up there. Like there's just specs on specs of a little bit. Ret Pally's even coming up there of everything in, and that's the top 40 keys being run in the world. So insane how much representation you're getting on everything. And you can see the popularity in the specs. Evoker is always down and out unless it's like crazy broken like Og was when it first came out. But it's just a spec not everyone really plays. Preservation's the lowest played healer, and it's because probably it's one of the hardest with the shortest range. So unless it's stupid broken, just you have those evoker players and that's it, and then the rest just kind of don't gravitate to it. Monk is always kind of down unless they're doing really, really well. I don't know why it's always the lowest played spec. Maybe people don't like it. Maybe I don't know what it is. I enjoy it, but it's not for everyone, I suppose. And the tank is finally monk tanks are finally back where they're okay again or pretty good again. They were pretty dog shit for a long, long time. Basically, the only thing holding monk there was the Mistweaver for a while. Rogue is one I never understand, and it might just be the play style of Rogue, but Rogue is almost always meta, and its popularity is always very low. So it's interesting to see. Some of the other ones, Ret's always up there. Ret's a fun class to play, not much to it. Holy Paladin's back up there now. It's doing well. Frost EK because it's doing really well. Resto Shaman's carrying the Shamans. Resto Shaman's just crazy right now. It's one of the simpler ones to play because they're back playing Totemic, which I really thought was going to be Farseer. I'm playing Farseer because I enjoy it more, but Totemic looks like the top play at the very high end level. I think both are competent. I just think, some choose the Totemic because it's easy. Havoc and Vengeance are both right there hand in hand. And then Druid's always really popular. And Hunter used to be the most popular spec, but Survival always sucked way behind. That just shows a little bit of the popularity that's going on. The DPS, that is, I want to showcase this part the most because this is crazy to me. So if you look at max level keys, there's 6 that have done 18s. The majority fall on 17s. And there's only, if you take out other options for specs, like Demonology is obviously going to play Destruction, Enhancement's obviously going to play Ellie, and Fire is obviously going to play Arcane. There's only Evoker. That's the only one that isn't doing 17s for DPS, which is crazy. That's every class in the game doing 17s, 1 key off the max. It gets even crazier than that. Sub Rogue. Take Sub Rogue out because it's a little anomaly. And take the bottom 3 specs out. So you're only taking 4 specs out. Every other spec, and we're going to round this one up to 6. I know it's not technically, but we are doing it. So, haha. Every other one's within basically 0.5 million or 500,000 DPS or about 8%, which is crazy. Crazy. All the other specs are tuned so well, they're within 8% of each other. That's amazing. That is what I call tuning done very well this season, I found. And that shows the representation of all these different classes in all the top keys because you can play them all. All their DPS is relatively close to each other. That is just amazing for the DPS section. I did want to do a quick follow-up because there is some separation on the healers. It is not much. Don't get me wrong, it's not crazy. You're only 1 kilo. You take Holy Priest out, you're back to the 17s and 18s. You do the HPS, and you're only roughly about 10% from bottom to very top, which is amazing tuning again. The DPS fluctuates a little bit. That's just because Prez has some crazy DPS right now. But the popularity of Prez is way down there because nobody plays it, even with the big DPS it can do. Disc Priest always does DPS well if you're playing Void Weaver. Oracle does not. Oracle does about, like, I don't know, 500k, where Disc Priest is doing 1 million. Disc Priest, if you ramp it right, is very well with the Void Weaver right now, and that's what a lot of them are playing in the top keys. And to complete all of them, the tanks. And again, the same situation. Only one tank is left out of doing 17s and 18s. The DPS is a little different on the tanks. You're talking the difference. Well, you take Fury out, or not Fury, you take Prot Warrior out, and you're left with 15-ish% top to bottom. So, not the worst. Popularity, it's kind of all the same. Less than 10% for Guardian and Blood. And the three most popular, obviously, are always Prot Paladin when you can play them. People love them. Prot Warrior, Warriors are loved. And Vengeance DH, just because everyone's been playing Vengeance DH for the last, I don't know, 6 seasons since they've been meta for all of them. But it is pretty close on the tanking as well. So this is a season at the beginning, 3 weeks in. Hope you're playing what you like, because there is great opportunity. Everything is very, very close. I just wanted to showcase how close Blizzard has made it this season. I know there'll be some complaining about raid. It's hard to balance everything for every spot of the game, but if you're really looking at the raid for DPS, again, you always have some outliers, but there is a pretty big difference between first and last place, Destruction Warlock, but there will be a lot of padding on ads and stuff. So it's not always the best indication on this for raid, because if you have better funnel damage, it does better than just splashing ads. Or if you have a certain one, Ellie Shaman's good for the second last boss, because they're actually cooldowns match up for the ad phase, so they just nuke ads, and it's a different way to play. So take the DPS with a grain of salt on the raids. You can actually dumb it down and go to like single target bosses if you really want, but it's all relatively close. Not as close as the Mythic Plus tuning, but the Mythic Plus tuning is what I would call spot on. I don't think you get any better than that. They've done a great job. Hope you're enjoying the season. Let me know how the keys are going. And if you have any questions, deflect, firm but fair gaming. We'll see you in the next video.